So the Japanese education system absolutely does deny the atrocious war crimes that the Japanese committed during World War II and leading up to World War II. Okay? So that's real, right? It's very real. That part is very real. But the inherent irony of like Americans trying to use that as a cudgel or as a fucking reason to use the atom bomb on Japan are also abso-fucking-lutely brainwashed in a similar perspective through American education. This is really funny. Warner Brothers Japan has issued an apology statement about the official U.S. Barbie the Movie account's Barbieheimer meme post. They wrote that they do not endorse Barbieheimer and have requested that their U.S. parent company, which has not apologized, respond to the problem. Barbie is now trending on Japanese Twitter with several very popular posts reacting to the official Barbie the Movie account's embrace of the mushroom cloud Barbieheimer memes. Here are a few quick translations. The Barbie movie is doomed because the official creators have fully embraced the memification of the atomic bomb and mushroom cloud imagery. No amount of saying that it was only fans getting excited and the official creators had no intention to salvage the situation. It's finished. It has been blatantly exposed that the movie Barbie, despite being labeled as feminism or political correctness, is embraced by American liberals who seem to find amusement in making jokes about the atomic bombing. For them, using the atomic bombing as material for humor does not contradict their standard for political correctness. I don't think these guys understand. That's American liberalism, baby. That's how it works. Like, they just don't see you as human. If only they knew I spent the past 6 months inundated with memes and infantilizing Oppenheimer posts with quotes like, "La bomb killed people." Yeah, it's just not. Americans do not consider people who have been historic foreign adversaries as real humans, even if they are now our allies. Okay? It's just a thing that we did. There is no accountability or accounting even, or recognition even for what we did. It's clear that Warner Brothers Japan does not control the Barbie the Movie account, which clearly embraced by the Oppenheimer Barbie A-bomb memes. It's doubtful many Japanese netizens will treat this apology statement from a Japanese subsidiary as a solution to this problem. The apology statement refers to Barbieheimer as a fan movement, which is true. However, the U.S. Twitter account's engagement with the Barbieheimer memes wasn't just something out of nowhere. Even the film's actors talked about it in promotional movies. The Japanese objections aren't about Oppenheimer film, nor they are motivated by nationalistic views of World War II. Rather, these objections are mainly focused on how the official Barbie movie Twitter account made posts reacting positively to the atomic bomb memes. Wow, that's crazy. I wonder why Japanese people are frustrated with a weapon of mass destruction being used in such a callous way. No, don't first of all, Japanese people are nationalistic. They're like Turkish people. The least nationalistic Turk still has a lot of nationalism in their heart. It cuts in the other direction. Japanese people on average are nationalistic, or the nationalistic ones are ultra nationalists. Same with Turkey. A lot of countries outside of the United States are similar to that. Part of the reason why America doesn't have that same style of like ultra nationalism or like everyone is a nationalist type attitude is because our loyalty is not necessarily to the nation of the United States of America, but to capitalism, and also because we are already the hegemonic superpower. But having said that, their frustration with this does not stem from nationalism, but rather, making light of an atrocity that is, let's be real, significantly worse than 9/11, demonstrably worse than 9/11. You could quite literally calculate how much worse it was, around 100 times. So if you think that that is a frustrating take for you, like I said, it's almost 100 times worse. Again, why are we victimizing people? They don't even get taught their own atrocities at all. I do not care if someone is oblivious to their own atrocities, just like I do not care if someone is a fucking Nazi living in the United States of America. I still do believe in the humanity of every single person. I will still advocate for their human rights. I just do not think that they should be running around fucking being a Nazi, but they should still get healthcare, things of that nature. Okay? More of a principle thing. Also, what is very frustrating about this perspective is that it's one that I repeat quite regularly, okay? And then it might be new for you. Yeah, universal healthcare doesn't mean we get to pick and choose, okay? Like, if you think out of the 250,000 almost Japanese civilians that were fucking eviscerated, that were in the hospital, that were on the school, the little babies that were lasered by this fucking atomic bomb, and how they were also going to become, war crime committers one day, then yeah, you might be in a... Yeah, it was mostly women and children that got killed by the bomb because that's who was at home. Women and children. And what did Japan do to millions of Chinese civilians? That's a great fucking take, as a matter of fact. Something that I've talked about regularly, whether it be Unit 731. Except the people that also deployed the atomic bomb on Japan took those guys that did all of those things to the Chinese citizens, the Chinese civilians, and protected them, shielded them from any kind of legal scrutiny, only with the express purpose of taking all of that research they considered research and utilizing it in the Korean War. So the idea that it's like, America was engaging in like righteous revenge is laughable. No Chinese person would fucking say that, because guess what? Americans fucking hate China. Like, why are you saying that? It doesn't even make sense from a war crime perspective because of what we did to the fucking war criminals, which is shield them from legal scrutiny with the express purpose of getting their quote-unquote research, the torture research, the germ warfare research. Okay? And then Americans fucking hate China. Like, what are you talking about? It's not like Americans are like, oh yeah, we were defending the brilliant, brave, and bold Chinese. The fuck do you mean? You can't have the perspective of like, well, what about the war crimes on the Chinese, while simultaneously being like, but also fuck them. We should war crime them ourselves. So that's one thing. But the reality is, yes, I have talked extensively about Japanese war crimes. I have. And the lack of education on Japanese war crimes in Japan. I've talked about all of these things. You were either not here or you just didn't give a shit until this moment because you thought this would be a fun little way to just like wedge that in here as though it's like logically appropriate. The Japanese war crime themselves gave our nays and shit to families to gather and commit suicide. That's such a funny take. Yeah, that's why, the fire bombing campaign and the atomic bomb, these were all totally valid because like Japanese people were also killing themselves instead of like we literally nuked the hospital. What are you talking about? And we still do, by the way. We don't nuke them anymore, but Americans denying any crimes they've committed during wars, while actually Japan did war crimes. That's why they deserve to be nuked. Anyone who complains about the Japanese not knowing about the war crimes of their government better not have English as their first language. I mean, that's there's a big chunk of the world, you know? Huh? 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 Yeah, now we still bomb hospitals, you know? It's called, but this time with drones, which is precision strikes. The most common view of the A-bomb in Japan is it was tragic that 100,000 people died from the bombs. 2, wars caused terrible human suffering. 3, nuclear weapons are horrible, should not be used on humans again. It's not something to make humorous memes about. Typical apologizing over nothing. Funny. Anyway, that's it. That's the take. That's the weirdness of the situation. But of course, part of the reason why people run the gamut on this bullshit of like, well, they deserved it, they had it coming, which is ironic. Here's what's ironic. You want to know what's ironic? So the Japanese education system absolutely does deny the atrocious war crimes that the Japanese committed during World War II and leading up to World War II. Okay? So that's real. Right? It's very real. That part is very real. But the inherent irony of like Americans trying to use that as a cudgel or as a fucking reason to use the atom bomb on Japan are also abso-fucking-lutely brainwashed in a similar perspective through American education. Because in your mind, you think the atom bomb was it was a necessity. Like the deployment of the atom bomb was an absolute necessity to end the war, which is ironic because that's American anti-war crime whitewashing education. So, you know, it's just two people absolutely fucking oblivious to their own misconduct. Just running around. It's also wild because, like, I forgot what I was going to say. God damn it. Sides of the same coin. In some respects, there's also so much more that the American education system lacks. That's what I was going to say, which is something that we talk about regularly, like in the state of Florida, where it is now, like, we have always been, and especially in the South, openly contentious to teaching slavery and America's history with white supremacy and slavery in an honest way. But it's even weirder to have this kind of conversation in a community like this one, where I spend a lot of time talking about how, like, they're doing that in the state of fucking Florida regularly.